Hi guys, welcome to our daily encounter. As we think about the ministry of the Apostle Paul, we can often wonder, how is it that that one individual could endure so much for the gospel, and how is it that the Apostle Paul kept going, despite the fact that he had undergone such misery and difficulty and hardship. The Apostle Paul was one of those people that just take a licking and keep on ticking, as we say. And I believe our reading today kind of gives us some insight into how the Apostle Paul was able to do this. And in our reading today, we see how the Apostle Paul and his companions were able to have a particular perspective when it came to life. They were able to focus on the internal, the eternal, and then also the supernal. This is found in 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verses 16 through 18, where it says, "Therefore we do not lose heart, but though our outer man is decaying, yet our inner man is being renewed day by day. For our momentary light affliction is working out for us an eternal weight of glory far beyond all comparison. While we look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporal, but the things which are not seen are eternal." And so he looked at the things that were internal. He said that our outer man is decaying. Had the Apostle Paul just focused on his physical body, it would have been very discouraging to think about, the many times that he had been scarred by being beaten, and perhaps a lot of the bruising and the bleeding that went on with the many sufferings that he underwent. And then not only that, but just growing older, generally, he could have focused on the external body and been greatly discouraged. But he says we look at the things. He says even though our outward man is decaying, yet our inner man is being renewed day by day. So he looked at the internal. That is, no matter what's going on with my body, inwardly, I am being renewed every day. And so nothing that happens to my physical body can affect what's going on in my inner man, in my inner person. And then instead of looking at the temporary things that were going on, he looked at things from an eternal perspective. He says, for our momentary light affliction, it's just momentary. It's just here for a little while. He looked at the circumstances that he was in as something that was going to just pass and not stay forever. And he said that those things are actually working out for an eternal weight of glory far beyond all comparison. And so he was able to look at the eternal benefits that came from these temporary, momentary sufferings that he underwent. And then he could look at the supernal. In verse 18, he says, we don't look at the things which are seen, but the things which are not seen. That is, the things that are above nature, the things that are beyond what we see in the natural realm, the supernal things, the spiritual side of things. And that encouraged him. If he just focused on this natural world, which is full of corruption and death and decay, it would have been very discouraging. But he was able to look past those things, at the things which are not seen, and see with his inner eye the things that he beheld by faith, and that kept him going. And so these are things that help the Apostle Paul and can help us as well. He looked at the internal, the eternal, and also the supernal. And hopefully today we will focus on these things as well. And as we do so, it will help us perhaps to not be so focused on the hardships that we're undergoing, but to be able to look at the things that are more weightier, the things that are more eternal, the things that are more substantial, and be able to endure these momentary light afflictions, as the Apostle Paul calls them, and to be able to gaze at the future and gaze at the wonderful things that God has promised us, and to be aware of things that our eyes can't see, the things that will far outlast these afflictions that we might undergo. So hopefully our reading today will be encouraging in that way. And with that, guys, I do thank you for watching the video today. Hope you guys have a great day. Love you guys. God bless.